gender non-conforming kids.
Hi, I am a trans guy, and I am currently really mourning my womanhood. I struggle every day with my dysphoria, but at the same time, I can't help but miss being a woman. So sometimes I dress up like a woman and wear makeup or anything like that, but that doesn't make me less of a man. And I don't care what anybody else has to say. I'm still a man. I just express my gender differently. Gender expression and gender identity are not the same thing. So, yeah.
This young person is so, young girl, it's a young woman, is so confused.
One change that I noticed that started happening was when I started passing better. Now women on the street will see me and they'll try to get out of my way if I'm walking towards them, and I hate it. First of all, I feel so bad. I like to normally try to cross the street anyways, just give them space, give my dog space as well. But now if they see me coming towards them, they'll get out of the way, or they'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, it's okay, don't worry. But it's just, I kind of hate that. And I feel like that's something that I can relate with too, because it's something you have to kind of teach yourself not to do. When I started passing, I was like, wait, I need to stop getting out of the way for men. I'll get out of the way for someone else, but whatever. It's just, I almost wish I could tell them, hey, you don't have to do that with me, it's okay. But then I just sound like one of those other guys that are like, oh, it's okay, I'm one of the nice ones, and I do not want that. Obviously don't want that. It does suck though when, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I don't look very scary. I'm really short, I'm 5'2", and my dog is always wearing a hoodie and boots or something like that. So I wish that there was a way that I could tell them, you can be safe with me.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, what? Literally, what are you talking about? It is so crazy. You are a female. It's why you feel this way and why you're dealing with these feelings that you don't want people. You're so screwed up. You're just a gender non-conforming female, okay? So these are the things you all don't talk about when you transition to look. You're not changing. You're only changing your appearance, but you're not changing your mind. Your mind doesn't change, okay? Now you've got to live in the reality that you are creating. You're creating this space that is, on some level, also a delusion. If you don't come to it in reality and understand, now people see you as a dude, okay? Deal with it. You can't handle it now because, whatever, that's it. Butch women have been dealing with that forever, by the way. So I don't know. I just think it's very sad to watch these young women all say that they miss womanhood, or they miss or they feel this way and they feel bad about feeling this way. That speaks volumes to me that there's no gender dysphoria attached to this. It is something else going on here. They're being talked into being trans by their peers. 100% will believe that.
Here's why I made the decision to detransition in 60 seconds. It wasn't fulfilling anymore. It became redundant, rote, superfluous. Just didn't see the point of doing it anymore. After the trans joy period and all the hype wore out, after 2 years, I was just kind of taking it just to take it. And after a while, sometimes I just straight up didn't do it. I would go months without doing it. T wasn't good on my body. It got to the point where I was excessively cramping, excessively bleeding, to the point where I had to get an emergency hysterectomy. And this went on for 4 years. My uterus was the size of a melon. And I think T has something to do with it.
You think?
When I was in jail, yes, I was in jail. When I was in jail, I met a lot of masked and stud butch women, and a lot of them told me I experienced discomfort, especially with my chest. But despite all of that, they still identify as women, and they still maintained their masked identity. They didn't feel the need to call themselves men. That resonated with me more than I thought it would, but it did. It definitely resonated with me. I read a lot of feminist theory, especially when I was recovering from my surgery. I read a lot of books, and that kind of was the final nail in the coffin. That was kind of the I need to stop doing this. I need to stop doing that. So,
do you know how long I've been talking about that situation? She needed to have an emergency hysterectomy, as I did over 15 years ago. And I've been talking about vaginal atrophy. I've been talking about testosterone on the female body, but I'm a transphobe and I'm a liar and I'm a bigot and I'm all these things. Yet here they are. They're literally having the exact thing that happened to me a million years ago, and I've been waving the red flag, and it's why I'm telling you, like, there's going to be so much of this happening, and so many of these young women who somehow wanted to transition because they felt a certain way in a 15-minute Zoom evaluation about that they are trans, and that if they don't transition, they're going to off themselves. Wow. Just wow.
I'm so excited to get to the point in my gender journey where you have no idea what gender I am. Because for years, like, I've been confused myself of, like, what the fuck am I, you know? And I'm at the point where I'm like, maybe that is the gender, is that I don't know what the fuck I am. So, I'm excited to get to the point where people will look at me on the street and also be like, what the fuck is that? Because if you're confused and I'm confused, then that is so validating. Like, none of us know, and that's why it's fun. You know what I mean?
Why is it fun? What's fun? You want to be confused. You want people to be confused. How is that trans? This is a woman who takes testosterone, yet looks like a woman, okay? And then and considers themselves a he, they, yet they don't know their gender. Like, everything that came out of that person's mouth is so confusing that it's confusing for themselves, let alone us. And again, a gender non-conforming female is now being told that they're trans and taking testosterone and still confused about their gender journey.
I got top surgery 2 weeks ago now, so I'm just going to talk about it a little bit because why not? I got double incision with a dovetail, which is basically just a little thing that goes up onto your sternum. That's the easiest way to explain it, I think. I didn't keep my nipples, you know, whatever. But I'm just going to talk about it and my experiences. So day one was the worst, but also kind of the easiest because of how much I slept. I was mostly nauseous. I went into surgery at 8:30, came out at around 10, left by 11, so I spent about an hour-ish waking up. Nausea was the worst part of it. I threw up twice, once when I was being wheeled out to my dad's car, and then once when I was walking into my aunt's house and threw up, thankfully into a bag. But that was kind of it. I then slept for 5 hours straight, woke up, everything.
That's because your body went through trauma. Surgery is very traumatic on your body. And what is that? What is that? And notice how they nonchalant, or she, whatever, nonchalantly went, and I didn't have the nipples, whatever, you are going to regret it. So regret it. All of you no nipple trendy people. And look at the flag. I also want you all to notice that these people all have these flags in their rooms. That is so culty and crazy. Every single one of these people are flying trans flags. I don't know which one that one is. I have no idea. That's probably non-binary or something. But that is the most horrific surgery I have seen. Like, it's just, I've seen so many of them now. They just seem normal now. It's like normalizing shit surgery. Normalizing no boobs with no nipples for young women who are having a crisis around their gender identity. Did you ever think we were going to be here? Never in a million fucking years. Never, never, never. So I felt this one to be appropriate next.
Trans people wearing a chest binder is all they need. They just want their clothes to fit a little bit differently, and they are not made upset by their naked body. Some trans people don't want permanent surgery because they kind of oscillate between different gender expressions, and they would like the option to appear more androgynous or more masculine without making permanent alterations to their bodies. Again, perhaps a chest binder might just stave off the need to have surgery for a few years so a younger person can make a more informed decision as an actual adult. Isn't that what you want? I don't know how to better...
Yes, we do want that, my friend. But that's not what's happening. Binders are an actual entryway into chest surgery. Just so you know, that's not what's happening. And also, this person is talking about how now the FDA went after a bunch of these companies because they were creating binders for minors. And that is not okay. You can't do that, okay? It is an actual compression garment. And if it is not worn correctly, or people, maybe even your parents don't understand you're wearing it, like, you can actually hurt yourself. There are people who got hurt from wearing binders too long, all the time, too tight. This is a fact. So now, and these companies selling to minors stuff like this is ridiculous and gross. So now they went after, and no one cares when an adult does their person. Nobody cares. We're talking about minors. They went after these companies because they were selling to minors who could hurt their growth of their chest. If you're compressing your chest at 12, it can actually stunt the growth and make it worse. And who knows what the long-term effects of those are.
I don't know how to better illustrate that these attacks are becoming more personal, more intimate, more about trying to affect our access to the world and our ability to make choices. And the more they are able to restrict us, the more they will do it to you. Because if they are able to do this to chest binders, what's to stop them from reclassifying a sports bra?
Oh, please.
Any underwear? Any clothing item? At what point will the government just decide how you're allowed to dress based on what's on your birth certificate?
This is called fear-mongering, by the way. That's fear-mongering. If that was the case, they would have gone after it a long time ago. None of those other garments that you actually just try to gaslight into there do no harm to the body. None. Zero. The reason they are going after binders is because they are a compression garment. If it was just a sports bra, nobody would care. They're not compressing. They're holding. Big dip. They just hold it down, but not as compression. So this is also why this community, this whole trans rhetoric and fear-mongering everybody into, what's next? Our underwear? No, nobody cares about your underwear. We're talking about minors. We're talking about gender non-conforming kids that you all are pushing into the trans space. I saw on one of my lives, somebody wrote, and I see it all the time, somebody wrote, there's no more butch lesbians left. Of course there's not. They're being told they're trans. Oh, this is totally insane.
I have a cultural prediction. I think in like 25 years from now, not all, but a concerning number of the people who felt really comfortable exploring their gender identity between the years of 2020 and now, who identified as trans for like a year, maybe 6 months, and then kind of realized they weren't, will have kids who are actually transgender. And then because they had that phase too, they think that they're qualified to tell their child that they are not actually transgender. And they will force their child to go through the wrong puberty and not give their kid HRT.
Says the child, says the little child. I predict that we'll never hear about this shit again in 25 years, and everybody will be back to normal, and there'll be no more of this gender affirming surgery bullshit. And I predict that every single one of those doctors will lose their license and be in prison, and I predict there'll be a shit ton of young girls with their tits cut off and having hysterectomies who will be so pissed at the world that they will come after people like you. There. God, these people, I predict you're 12. Well, maybe not. Maybe you're 18. I don't know anymore.
Can you even imagine being a 13-year-old that had a double mastectomy in a gender-affirming care situation? Well, listen to this.
I'm someone who has been dosed with Lupron and testosterone starting at 12. I received a bilateral mastectomy just 1 month after my 13th birthday. I went straight from training bras to binding, straight to the operating table at 13. The reason why is because I had undiagnosed autism and unaddressed childhood sexual trauma. I was scared to become a woman. I was getting unwanted male attention, which made me fearful of being victimized again. I had sensory issues I didn't know how to cope with when I began menstruating and needing bras. I learned about transgenderism at 11, and I thought maybe that was the reason I was so uncomfortable. I brought the idea to the therapist I'd been seeing, and she immediately affirmed me, gave me a diagnosis of gender dysphoria, And once I told my parents, she began writing referrals for doctors specializing in pediatric transition care. Never along the way did anyone question why I suddenly wanted to become a boy. They didn't comprehensively screen me for mental health disorders or ask me about any prior trauma. I saw Suzanne Watson in Kaiser Oakland's Proud Clinic, and within 90 minutes, she signed off for me to receive testosterone and meet with a surgeon named Winnie Tong. The mastectomy was explained to me at 12 using watered-down terms like top surgery. I was told I would never be able to chest feed. I was told I might lose sensation, but to me, at 12, that equated to numbness.
I just can't. I'm pretty sure I played this one for you before, but showing you it's on, thank God, other podcasts and people are talking about 11 started thinking they're trans. How at 11 is an 11-year-old starting to think they're transgender? This is a gender non-conforming young girl. All of these people are. I was a gender non-conforming girl. It wasn't until I was a full fucking adult at 30 did I even step near this situation. So that's why this is so disheartening, so sad. I got to live my life for many years as a gender nonconforming girl, and I did not have a bad childhood. I did not. I can't even imagine if my parents were forced into this shit. Okay, my parents never told me I was a boy. They just said go and kick all the boys' ass in the team and win all the races and be a badass chick. That's what my parents said. Wow, just wow.
Oh, but you consented. You consented as a teenager. Therefore, you consented for the rest of your life. No, actually, I did not consent to all of these health issues. I did not consent to my throat essentially being permanently crushed for the rest of my life. It hurts to speak. Every word I speak,
wow.
I struggle to enunciate my words.
Wow.
Projecting is its own hell. The phlegm that builds up. Drinking anything aside from water, I will immediately cough and continue to cough. Some foods hurt to swallow. My singing voice, the one natural God-given talent I had from a very young age, completely dead and gone. And God forbid I decide to speak the whole day. Just speak normally. The next day, the next morning especially, will be hell. I did not consent to that. You know what I did consent to? I consented to, oh, your voice will just get deeper. It'll just get deeper, just like a boy going through puberty. I am not a boy, and I never was. Physically, my female body cannot accommodate expanded vocal cords. It's not made to do that. I also didn't consent to the chemical damage. You told me the only thing that would happen is, oh, your clit will grow. It'll just grow a little bit. Okay, but you didn't tell me about everything else. You didn't tell me that my discharge would disappear, that my scent would disappear, that my arousal would be completely gone unless I were being physically stimulated by someone else. You didn't tell me that my sense of pleasure would go from 100%, including all these little micro sensations that you're supposed to experience during intimacy, then drop down to 5%.
This is really upsetting for me as well. They are taking away the right to have sexual feelings, intimacy. What? These are the majority. They're doing this to young girls. They have no feelings, no intimacy feelings anymore. What? What is that? And why is that okay? Why is that okay? And I'm just like, I don't know. That really upsets me a lot. Like, they're just totally destroying these young gender nonconforming girls. They're destroying them. All in the name of what? Of what? Of transgender affirming care? It's all total make-believe fantasy land for crazy weird doctors and therapists to put on their weirdo science hat or something at the expense of young people's like lives on some level. So it's weird, but I found this. It's a little bit disturbing, but I'm going to play it. I just want to warn you. And I'm going to play, and you're going to see why I'm going to play it, because it actually disturbed me so much.
So, what actually drives clitoral growth on testosterone? Let's talk about the factors from hormones to creams and what science and clinical experience really say. I'm Dr. Dave, your transgender health and hormone specialist with almost 30 years experience in the field. Let's talk about clitoral growth for transgender men. Testosterone is the main driver behind growth. Starting and maintaining the right levels is the number one factor for genital change. Usually growth begins within about 1 or 2 months.
Oh my God. Okay. This is the creep. This doctor is so disgusting. This is TikTok. This dude is on TikTok. 13-year-olds are watching this doctor, and he's talking about clitoral growth and testosterone. Now, that being said, that is definitely something that needs to be spoken to with adult trans people who are transitioning 100%. But it does not ever need to be talked about on TikTok by this creepo doctor who's also obsessed with transitioning children. He gives me so much creepy, hair-raising, something ain't right with this dude. Something ain't right. I'm going to leave you with this one because it's pretty profound.
A fellow detransitioner shared on Facebook a really powerful post, but it was the first sentence of that post that was just saying it all. And I just wanted to share that, and let me see if I remember. Gender transition is a very attractive process to the ones who are depressed and mentally ill, because it is the closest thing to a person themselves without actually committing this. I'm just thinking about Pastor Landon when he shared about transgenderism, and that it is the spirit of death that is behind this, because he wants to kill who God made you to be.
Another gender non-conforming woman who transitioned and then detransitioned. That's a very profound statement, I'm going to say to you. Because I remember when they started calling their former names and self the dead naming, and you're not allowed, I don't know if you all even knew this, but it became like a legal thing where you were not legally allowed to dead name anybody, meaning you weren't allowed to call them their birth name ever. It is really very interesting what this person said. And if you really put it in the perspective of all this, you can actually see it play out. And I think a lot of these young women, as we know, this is an actual fact, are autistic, have comorbidities, they have some mental illness going on. They might even be on mental, they might be on some kind of psychiatric drugs, which corresponding with hormones could be making things even more escalated. They're kids who feel alienated. They're kids who have probably had dealt with all kinds of weird shit going on, but we're not addressing any of that. We're not addressing any of that. We're only saying if you think you're trans, you're trans. Just that alone is so abusive and so wrong and so disgusting that you would put a child in charge of their own self when they are struggling in a space that they don't even know. It's why the detransition rate is going up on a daily basis. So with that, I just feel so sad for these young kids. You know, I feel so lucky to have adopted a baby, and I feel so lucky on some level to be able to guide this young person, because I do feel like my whole life experience has led me to this space. And to have a child that you get to, on some level, mold or that, but I feel very protective of these kids, and I don't do this out of hate. I do this out of complete total respect for somebody who also struggled as a youth, and it just brings tears to my eyes to think that these young women are being pushed into a space that much of it is irreversible. And I'm sorry for crying, and I'm sorry for getting emotional, but it just hurts my heart to see this insanity happen. Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us today. And I have beautiful, beautiful, amazing Tori. Hi Tori.
Hello. So good to be back. Thank you for having me back. It's been forever.
I should start voice training.
I should start voice training.
I should start voice training.
I should start voice training. I need to get to a point where my voice doesn't sound like I'm a fucking loser at some point.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure my regular voice clocks me a little bit.
Yeah. You think?
Oh my God, you think this, like, Tori worked so hard on yourself. Your voice sounds like a woman to me. I don't think anyone would clock you.
Thank you. No, I did. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Like, it's not just how you look. It's not just how you move. It's how you interact every single day with people. Yeah. And that comes down with how you sound. Because you can look just like unclockable boots or whatever, and then go and talk to someone and just sound like a whole man. Like, you're not gonna do what you are trying to do here. And the fact that nobody at this point is putting in the effort to work on that, or there's a billion excuses, or I don't have time, or it's too hard. It's like, girl, no. Consistency will always get you where you need to be, but you have to be intentional about what you're working on.
Yeah.
You have to be intentional on it.
And also, then they get so mad about being clocked or being like told that you look like a man or you sound like. Of course, again, it's why you are so important in this fight, because you can see, and I think why people have respect for transsexuals like yourself and Blair and people who are making an effort to blend into society. And, you know, that's the one thing I noticed about the people who watch this channel is that they appreciate people like you and I pushing back on this, because, you know, I don't think they have any issues with us.
No, of course
no, they
not.
don't. They do not. They don't.
They're so transphobic by loving and supporting and donating and subscribing. So
That's
transphobic.
Right. That's why the trans community is so insane. Okay, so there's dude number one.
Oh God.
Let me get to the next.
What a way to start.
Oh my God, I wanted to start with, okay, wait.
Hey everyone, it's Saul, and in today's video we're finally going to be answering the age-old question. Can you always tell if somebody is trans? Well, no.
Oh.
We waited that long. We waited for that.
But I don't get it. Like, I mean, I get it. You can't tell that you're trans, in my opinion. Some people might disagree, but I don't think, if I just walked in and saw you, I don't think I would think that you're trans. But that person, I would.
That I was gonna say, you could tell about how they looked, and then the very first word they said, it's like, brother. Can we tell you're trans? You don't have to sit and wait and be silly about it.
That's right. Yeah.
We can tell.
That's right. And wasn't that the whole point of transitioning, so nobody can tell? But that's when they changed the narrative to passing. Now they say passing is transphobic.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Oh, and if you support passing, you're transphobic, you're gatekeeping.
Yep.
You're all of these things. And it's like, I'm sorry, but if you actually suffer from gender dysphoria, you're going to want to do these things, because your gender dysphoria doesn't allow you to do stuff like this. Here, let me make a video about how manly my voice sounds, but how feminine I look.
I know. It's the most bizarre thing. And also, just even with the young people getting their boobs taken off with no nipples, how is that even helping your gender dysphoria? Isn't that making it worse?
Literally, what is that? I don't...
It's body modification.
But men have nipples, women have nipples. Like, what?
Humans have nipples. Like, no, that's not gender dysphoria. That's body mod. It's body
I don't
mod.
know if theys have nipples. Theys might not have nipples.
Oh my God. Do you know that thing? What's the thing that hangs down in the middle of your
Uvula?
uvula? Okay. So back in the day, this is how crazy the body mod world was. People started piercing it. They actually started piercing it. I come from the weirdest space, let me tell you. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, because they always, so my point being is people always want to be the like new thing and they want to do something before everybody else. So they want to, you know what I mean? And then like I remember people were getting infections and it was turning into,
Of course.
yeah, of course. Like what, anyways, why would you do that? They were just doing it to be different, right? So I feel like a lot of this, some of these men wanting to be women, I think they just want to get they need attention. Like, hold on, segue into this one. This one totally wants attention.
Is bro's name Saul too?
I'm trans, I use they, them pronouns, but I'm also kind of just a girl sometimes, it turns out, and I'm just really grateful today that I have the best fucking friends in the entire world.
To D&D today, this is literally the fit. This is literally the fit, okay? Went to D&D, look at those. Bam, went to those. Did anyone say anything? No one give a fuck, which is like the best possible response you could give. They treated it like it was no big deal. I literally just had one of them, there was like 6 of us, and I had like one person say like, hey, you're fit today? Nice. Awesome. And like out of earshot of everyone else, no one else even heard that. Like they just treated it like it was no big deal. It's like, yeah, that's Spence. That's them. That's just how they look. It doesn't matter. I have such good fucking friends.
I've literally left the house looking like this like twice before. So it's just like so wonderful for me. And my friends are like so wonderful and supportive and kind. And I've lost a few people on this like personal journey of self-discovery that I'm taking you on.
You've lost a couple friends. First off, tweaking, right? Like hardcore don't do drugs.
Is this the journey to the mental ward? Is this the journey to the circus?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing with the hair? What are we doing with the 5? Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
And I don't understand why the community supports this because I think I had said to you earlier, my really good friend Monroe Flame, she's a Black trans woman who's old school like me, and she is amazing and awesome. And even she said to me, which I think I said to you today, our fight is over. You know, like we've done the work and now they're destroying it. And so that's why we have to just be really standing up for ourselves at this point and disassociated with this new trans insanity.
And do you know what I agree with you, obviously. What I hate, though, is when we say these things and we are doing content like this, people will come back and call us transphobic because they will use this excuse every single time. Weren't you at an awkward phase when you're transition? Yep, I was. But you know what I wasn't doing? That.
That's right. That's right. So I wasn't on TikTok or any, thank God it wasn't around. And when I was at the awkward stage, I was just doing my own thing. I was not out in the public space. I was transitioning. I just walked around secretly kind of doing my thing, right? Until you got to be a space that you passed and then you felt more comfortable.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I think that's why you and I align so easily on a lot of things is
Yep.
because without even knowing it,
Yep.
we both did the same thing. I was on HRT for an entire year while still living as a guy, looking like a guy, as my body feminized for whatever, what they would call, oh my God, we're doing it. And I'm like, I'm nowhere near. I am nowhere near ready to be called a woman, like act like a woman. Like was not ready for any of that at 1 year, let alone putting myself on blast and tweaking out in front of the camera. Like, girl,
what
the delusion that goes along with thinking that is a good thing to post for content is more delusional than the mental illness of gender dysphoria.
Well, this is trans. This is actually what trans is. These people, these are trans. That's why everybody can see we're transsexual. We have gender dysphoria. We want to be a man and a woman, and we know, and we just walk the world that way. And I think that is why the trans community doesn't like to hear from people like us, because we are literally poking a hole in all of their this is nonsense. This is not anything other than an act, a sort of wanting to be part of a new thing called trans. It's identity.
And why are people that aren't trans, because let's say that this clown is trans in this world, why are people that aren't trans supporting this? they're good friends. In what world
No.
is a good friend looking at that person and going, "Yeah,
Yeah.
you're all right. Oh, I love your outfit." What
That's
are
right.
women doing going, "Oh, I love your outfit, girl"?
They feel like they
Oh.
have to. It's that whole liberal woke bullshit where you feel like you
Oh.
have to do it or you're bad, you know, being white is bad anyway. So then they just lay all the layers on top of you that, you know, it's all guilt. They do it out of guilt. They don't do it because they actually truly feel that way about us. They're doing it out of they're being pushed into it. And
Which
that
is horrendous. Like, stand up for yourself. Like, girl,
100
own your being a woman. Like, do not equate yourself to that.
No.
I don't. As a biological male, I do not.
That's why we align with the turfs because I am going, what? They're not, turf is not a bad thing. It just means that they're like, hey, wait a minute here. Misogyny has been in my whole life. You're not going to, just because you became a woman, talk to me like that. Are you insane? Like
Literally.
that's full misogyny.
And when people misgender us or call us our biological sex, the most powerful thing we can do is own that
Own
as a
it.
transsexual because
That's
it's
right.
not transphobic to call a spade a spade.
Right on. There you go. That's it. And that's why we always are here doing this work.
Oh,
And
God.
wait till you see this one.
Ronald McDonald asked, like,
what is that thing? Oh my God. Oh my God.
You talk about the relationship between being trans and Indian. What do you want to say to the Indian community right now?
Some of the first Indian immigrants who came to what's called the United States in the late 1800s and early 1900s were actually seen as queer. The idea was,
No, they weren't.
oh, these are
Bullshit.
men playing dress up. They're actually women if they had a turban. The idea was that Indian people were all sodomites who were coming here to bring the specter of homosexuality and queerness. So often, the way that anti-migrant campaigns would be justified was in painting all Asian and specifically Indian and Chinese people as queer. In response,
Okay, I'm stopping him there. He's lying. That is total bullshit. No, queer wasn't around back then. Nobody talked about queer. What? Wait, this guy makes up so much history. It's crazy.
it's not just him though. That this whole
Yeah.
hive mind cult does that. They rewrite history in their favor every single time.
Oh my God.
It's kind of fascist.
You think? Also, this dude, I can't stand Aluk because Aluk is full of shit, and he's one of those crazy academics who think they're better than everybody else. He's such a narcissist. Also, he's a man in a dress. That's a literal man in a dress right there. Hairy chest, 5 o'clock shadow, rah, rah, rah. Like, yep, sorry, nope. And he's non-binary trans.
And of course, we got to put non-binary in front of the trans label. Like, what person is looking at that? Sorry, what person in their right mind, everyday person, not someone a part of this queer subculture, is looking at that and going, "Oh my gosh, that is beautiful.
That's
That is
right.
just the definition of beauty. Oh, you're so powerful. You're so strong, girl. No, that's a mess. That's offensive to trans people, non-binary people. I don't even like. Not even.
Nah, we're not playing that game. You could be non-binary all you want. It's not trans, but they co-opted all the language. They're the actual colonizers. They colonized what trans is. They're literally colonizing it and taking it from the people who are the original dysphoric people. So it's quite fascinating all the hypocrisy that comes out of that insane community. Plus, you know, I get pushing boundaries. I came from that space. I get it. But at the same time, pushing boundaries, you better be ready for pushback. And when you show up as a man in a dress and expect everyone to call you she and they, you go fuck yourself. It's not going to happen. Just to say it loosely, okay, wait. This one, oh my God, I can't wait to show you this one. Okay. The audio's a little low, but I'll fix it.
Okay.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah. It's my thoughts exactly.
I got a whistle today. It's very loud. It's plastic. There's no moving parts. And I got a pamphlet on the types of codes to use with it. Why do I have to have this?
Good
Okay,
question.
you're taking too long, Grandpa.
Good question. Someone come get their grandpa. Someone come get their grandpa.
That's somebody's grandpa. I'm telling you. Oh my God. What? Come on. This way. So they got a whistle.
For
They got a
what?
whistle, and the whistle. I guess they think they're going to get art. They think they're going to get sexually assaulted. So they bought. That's what that is. It's a whistle in case you're getting. It's like the fantasy keeps getting bigger. This is this
Sir.
person's fantasy is to
Sir.
get essayed.
Wow.
I know. It's actually just delusional.
Okay, me, I'm sorry to say this, at how young I am and where I am with my transition,
Yeah.
I don't have one of those.
And you could easily be essayed.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's the world we
Yes.
live in. But like,
Yes.
it's like tampons. Does grandpa have tampons as well? Like, we don't need them. Also, there's a thing, yes, hormones reduce like the muscle and stuff like that, but biologically we can still
Yeah.
bite. Says me. I'm
Well,
not a
Grandpa looks pretty tall and pretty big, so
Pretty built.
and honestly, I'm not really sure it's ever going to happen except in their dreams. But the fact that they're just like, I had to buy this. Why did I have to buy this? I can't believe I have to buy. All dramatic about it in the car, and they're always in the car talking about this. Oh wait,
Right.
there's a part of this. I have to keep going because hold on here.
Oh,
Hold
do we
on.
have
Wait,
to?
it's this. Okay.
Why is it that the things that are happening make me feel like I need to have this with me at all times? What the fuck?
Oh.
And I know you're feeling it too.
Oh, I'm feeling it. Sister. I am feeling so oppressed.
Here it comes.
Oh!
Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. And don't forget to drink your gender fluid.
I'm not sure if you can hear it. They said, and don't forget to drink your gender fluid. Yeah, they did. With the whole gay cup thing with flags and everything. Yep. These are lonely people. Seriously. They're lonely people who found a grift and and on some level, I'm happy that it makes you happy, but get off the internet. Okay. Like, I don't care if you do this in your car, in the old age home, all of it. But the fact that you're on TikTok doing this is the part that I'm not cool with it.
I just okay, if we change because we're bullying or whatever.
Right, we sure are.
But like if we are to take this person seriously, why is at that age, why is our hair purple? Okay? Why are we wearing our transness? Why are we wearing our queerness?
Yeah.
That is such a clock, girl.
Yeah.
That is such a clock. Like, to be honest, the frames really help the face, but it's got a lot to help. And we need to put a lot more work into it.
Well, come on. Also, they're getting attention. They're getting attention. I saw they have people following them and thinking there's like young people think this. So, I know older than me trans women, okay, who think this is insane and it's
and
embarrassing.
they look like women and they look like women.
They look like old grandmas, like for reals. Yeah, they're awesome. I have lots of old trans women friends who don't go anywhere near this shit, but they're ones who keep me going too. They're like, don't stop, Buck. These people are totally destroying everything we built. And so they don't like this. They are so disgusted by these because they're like, they know this isn't a transsexual person. This is a man who's cross-dressing and getting off on it and really focusing on children on some level. Look at the cup and don't forget to drink your gender fluid.
That's
come on.
disgusting.
That is
disgusting.
Totally agree.
And everything that I do and everything that I say and everything that I stand for and all the pushback that I do and all that hate that I get and stuff, I do because of my trans elders that allowed me to be who I am and get what I've got, the privileges, right? We want to use the word privilege, but I've been able to get what my body and like everything aligned
Mm-hmm.
because of what my trans elders went through before me. And so
Yeah.
I feel like there's a duty and obligation to give back and at least at the very smallest bit of it respect my trans elders. And this
Yeah.
is not it. This is
No.
not it.
Yeah, and that's why you are liked in that space. And then it's just so it's just wrong because it's not helping us. This nonsense is not. That's why we have to call it out because I don't
Yeah.
want to be associated with these people in any way, shape, or form. I do not, and I will not. So, okay, these are some of the. Here, let me bring up this. I haven't seen it. You sent me these.
Identify as trans?
Yeah.
What kind of trans are you?
Simple, just she, her. I've only been trans for I want to think 6 years.
How are
okay.
they trans?
Yeah,
What?
I know someone that's like that does the exact same thing. I'm trans, and it's like, brother, no.
So is he saying he's a trans woman?
Yeah, been she, her for 6 years. 6 years? Bro.
You know, this is the
I'm
damage.
at 7. I'm at 7, okay? This is 7. 6, 7.
Oh my
Stop.
God.
Sorry. But that, no. I'm
No,
offended.
just no. How about, so am I. I'm offended too. I'm offended.
Looks
because
like a man, sounds like a man,
making
acts
no
like a man.
effort.
Also,
no effort.
what is, I've been trans now for about, hold on, 6 years? Is it 6 years? Girl.
No,
get
that's
out
mental.
here.
That's actually mental. That's what I'm talking. This is totally all the fucking people who need some kind of psychiatric help are
Yeah.
just latching on to this space because if you say you're a woman, you're a woman. That's
And of
yeah.
course, we love Ariel for
Oh,
going
sure.
out
She's
there and
my great friend. Yes. Love
yeah.
her. She's out there doing the work. And
We
me and
love
you
you.
eventually will have our road trip and me and you will do the work. And
We
it's gonna-
should.
we're going
Not
to do
just
it.
the road trip, but like
Oh, no.
obviously the road trip, but
Yes.
like do this kind of thing.
We totally should. I think everyone, if you're into it in the comments, put it down there because I think it would be amazing to go to a college campus and just wreck it.
Should we
like
start a
Charlie Kirk.
GoFundMe? Start a GoFundMe for Buck and Tori to go.
Oh God.
college
No,
campus.
we'll pay ourselves. It's all good. We'll get a
I know, right?
sponsor.
I know, right?
We'll get a sponsor. Okay, watch this.
I go through my day pretty normal like. I'm a normal gal. I'm a swell gal. I'm a nice enough gal. I'm a cool kind of gal. I'm a pretty groovy gal.
What is
But then I get a little progesterone in me and I start to go cuckoo.
Yep.
Doesn't take much. This time around it was
Yep.
two progesterone pills.
Yep.
Only 100 milligrams each, but they get the job.
So is that true? Because I was reading that estrogen can make you go a little nutty.
Yeah, and this is
Yeah.
kind of my psychology behind it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but I've heard from many accounts progesterone affects everybody differently.
Sure.
What I
Sure.
have heard as well is the people that go cuckoo on it
Yeah.
have other underlying mental health issues that are
Duh.
not being addressed.
Duh.
Because transition is not the answer to all of your mental health problems.
Thank you. Giving hormones to mentally unstable people is a recipe for disaster.
Absolutely.
Yes.
As someone who has taken
Yes.
progesterone for
Yes.
5 years, 6 years now,
Yes.
I don't remember where I think I started a year after. It never made me go cuckoo. It made me tired.
Yeah,
I
sure.
get very tired. I
Yeah.
use it as a sleep aid essentially at night when I go to bed. Like, but I have never personally experienced going cuckoo or losing my marbles like this they them person apparently does. It says at the top, trans is a fetish for mentally ill men. Yep. There you go.
But I know
Thank
the
you.
whole fetish thing. So I was around it. All the clients were these people and they're men. They didn't think they were trans. They just knew they were cross-dressers. And the door was open for these fetish dudes to come out and claim to be trans. And it is a fetish. 100% it's a fetish because I bet this one also goes back to living as a man during the day. In my feeling of this person that they are
Exactly.
literally a cross-dresser.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
then they'll take all these
Yeah.
hormones because
That's right.
it's popular, it's what's on
It's a
TikTok, it's
fetish. It's a
trendy, it's a
fetish.
fetish as well,
Yeah.
but then they'll live in that, and then they'll be truly miserable because it's not fulfilling in any
But it's
kind
not
of gender
regulated.
dysphoria.
Right. And
Yeah.
also, a lot of these people are getting their hormones off the internet. They're not even going into doctors. You can now go to all these grifter hormone spaces and have an online Zoom meeting with somebody for 15 minutes, and they'll give you a prescription for hormones. That's how
Not
easy it
naming any
is.
names.
I'm not.
We
I
both
refuse.
know who we're talking about.
I mean, one day we can probably do a video about them, but I'm not going to give them any PR. I'm not, because I feel like if I put their name out there, somebody might go to them, and then I'm going to feel really bad about it. Because
Earlier in my transition, they reached out to me, like,
Sure.
to do a thing, and
Yeah.
I was like, "No," because 1, I love my hormone doctor in person, and I
Thank
love
you.
my therapist. I
Thank
don't
you.
wanna do well, now
Oh
I'm
my.
really, like, praising myself for not doing that because what a mess. What an
Oh God,
absolute
it
mess.
would have actually hurt you. It's
Yeah,
so gross.
probably.
No, you need to go see an actual real doctor. Okay, let's get these.
My name is Mai. I'm a neurodiverse trans woman, and this is what's in my bag. Roll-on perfume for when I need some olfactory gender euphoria.
What?
Organic lip butter, because my lips get chapped and I haven't worked up the nerve to use lipstick yet. A rose quartz Snorlax to help channel my restful energy. A trans Mothman keychain, because she told me what would happen if I left her behind.
Yeah, yeah. No mental illness there.
Are these people psychopaths? Are these people actually I'm scared. That was
So am
terrifying.
I.
Oh, bro just looked right in. Hi, this is my purse. Oh, but they literally have there's like no soul. It's just, and I'm not brave enough to wear lipstick yet. Like,
Who
people
are
are
these people? These people are so delusional, and they scare me. But there is I've been watching the people they call the TERFs, dig up all this shit on a lot of these trans women who are murdering people, murdering their families, murdering, serial killers. I'm not kidding. There's a shit ton of them. You will be totally shocked how many trans identified men are literally killing people and serial killers.
And then people will justify it because the people that got killed were transphobic, right?
Oh, right. So, right. You can just go shoot somebody because they're transphobic. Oh my God.
They do. They're
Wow.
They're militant like
Wow.
that.
No,
They
I know.
have
These are the
no
people. You're
problem.
right.
They
No,
have no
Antifa.
problem they have no problem celebrating as long as
Yeah.
it's fitting their agenda and their side. They have no problem
No, you're
celebrating
right.
death, destruction, chaos.
right.
Especially with Charlie Kirk, we're making jokes about it still.
know, it's
We're
disgusting.
making drag queen iterations of Erica Kirk. Disgusting.
No, these people are
Absolutely
sick.
abhorrent. Who are you trying to and then if we talk about building bridges, they're like, no, you're just licking boots.
Of course they say that. Of course they say that.
No,
But
I'm just trying to be a decent human being and try to build bridges with people that think that we're something else when we're not. There are
That
people
actually
that are
care.
normal, that care.
right.
Exactly, that care.
That's right.
Want to be taken seriously.
That's right.
Acknowledge our mental illness. Live
Yep.
with it, right?
Yep.
Coexist with people.
Yep.
Not constantly trying to drive a wedge between people that don't experience life how we do.
It's so gross. Well, we better end. And with that, thank you, Tori, for spending the
Thank
day with
you.
me today and outing these people again. And then in the comments, if you want to see more of Tori, we're going to talk about how to make her a regular on the channel, and let us know. And then we can start working on creating that situation here. And thanks, Tori. You're so awesome, and you look so amazing and everything.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank
being
you,
a
Bob.
great friend. The girls are struggling hard.
Surprise! Yeah, this is Chloe. She does the majority of the work. And then I just slap some lipstick on and I'm womified. But yeah, unfortunately I am a man, and don't worry, I was surprised when I found out too.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, all that stuff. I'm just going to get right into this. As you see, I'm in a hotel room again. But if you watched my live the other day, you know why I'm here, and I'm very blessed on so many levels. And I'm just concerned with these young girls, okay? These are girls. These are women, girls. It's not okay what's happening to them. They are getting totally confused about what it even means to be a transsexual. They all identify as FTM or trans men, which is what I am, okay? And it's somebody who has gender dysphoria, who was born female, but wants to present to the world as a man, okay? You never want to present as a woman. There is this new idea that there's now cross-dressing. It's just craziness, because where's your gender dysphoria then? Your gender dysphoria comes from wanting to look like a man. Never do you want to look like a woman. It's the whole reason why you transition. So I'm going to show you how these people have co-opted an actual real mental disorder to create this delusional space and illusional of now cross-dressing back to looking like a woman. Why would you ever transition then if you don't? So their mentality is so screwed. They don't like me, or people like me who push back on them, because we're exposing that this is not trans. This is something. So I guess what I also want to say is, trans is now an identity, okay? Transsexualism is still in the same space. It's somebody who's struggling, wants to just present, walk the world, be a man, have all the things that men have. Never have to talk about being trans, just move into the world as a man, and that's where your gender dysphoria goes down and you become successful in your life. I'm a huge example of that. The other thing I find quite interesting to me is the major pushback I get with my age, which says a lot to me, okay? These are 17, 18, even 25-year-old trans people, all calling me old and calling me just the most insane names, when you would think they would look at me as somebody to, on some level, not necessarily aspire to like me, but to aspire to get to 63 years old and 33 years of transition. That's why I can call this whole thing out as fake and wrong. So with that, let me move forward on this next one here. And thanks again, if I didn't say it. I think I did say it. I'm a little tired from you know what. So I'm going to get into this next one here.
Just because you're a trans guy doesn't mean you have to be masked all the time. You can be a femboy.
Who said that?
What? Just because you're a trans guy doesn't mean you have to be masculine all the time. Yes, it does. It literally means that. So you see what they're doing? They're totally changed. This is body modification, by the way. I keep calling this out. It's body mod. They all have body mod in their faces, which again, go for it, kiddos. I did it. But that being said, it's not trans, okay? You're mixing the two up. And yes, when you say you're an FTM, which means literally female to male transsexual, or you identify as a trans man or it literally means you are masculinized, and it's exactly what you do all the time. Anyone who's cross-dressing back to looking like their original sex is not dealing with gender dysphoria. They've taken it on as an identity, and I'm telling you, it is a big part of mental illness right now. I do equate it on some level to anorexia or other ways of not liking your body and finding another way to sort of not have to deal with your female self. That's totally what's happening here. Okay, so I'm taking the audio out of this one because I'm not sure the copyright of the music. So I'll read this. Hey, my mom doesn't allow guys over. Give me a sec. Cross-dresses, give me a sec. Cross-dresses to a woman to look again like their original space. Why are you saying you're a trans guy? No actual real trans guy would ever do this, ever. These people are cross-dressers, females who want to cross-dress as men but go back to living and looking like a woman. Like, what? Y'all know I was a model before I transitioned. The fact that I had to put women's clothing on is why I drank and did drugs, and because I couldn't even handle being in those spaces. It was horrifying. I just think it's just so bizarre to me that these trans guys, these FTMs, it's a new fad on TikTok. It's literally a TikTok fad.
What's the point of transitioning if you're just gonna be a cross-dresser and a femboy? Because I am the captain of my fate and the master of my soul. What are y'all doing?
Well, what we're all doing is actually transitioning. This one is also a big grifter on TikTok. I watch they're all into this cross-dressing thing and looking like a girl. Then they take the makeup off and they're like, I'm a trans guy. No, they're 100% co-op. I just think, oh, it's so frustrating because I see it. And in 2 or 3 years, these kids are going to grow out of it. And hopefully they're going to go back to living what they really are, which is women. And then, all of the mess, they're creating a huge mess for people like me, okay, for actual transsexual. I'm not the only transsexual in the world. There's tons of us, okay? And we're all pissed. The other day I saw a comment on one of my things. Oh, Buck, I'm so tired of you saying it's about you. It's not about me, okay? I'm 63. I'm set. I'm done. But there are not millions, there's probably, I don't even know how many, but there's a lot of transsexuals who really deal with gender dysphoria and really need this space. And I feel like I am on some level trying to not represent, but talk about the fact that we do deal with this kind of stuff, okay? And that is why it's so important that I, as a 63-year-old transsexual person, to call this nonsense out. Because no one else, very few of us, seem to be calling this crap out. And then because they're too scared of this fake-ass community. I'm not scared of you people. I don't know what is wrong with all of you people, but I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of calling you out. Like, it's my job as a transsexual to call your insanity out. So this one is very important to me because, just listen and then we'll get into it.
So I got top surgery when I was 15, and that's very controversial on this app. People really don't like that. But here's how I was able to medically transition as a minor. So for some context, I knew I was trans in 2019. I just didn't say anything until 2022 when I came out. That was when I started my name change process because I figured that would take a little longer. So we just did the name change and sex change on my birth certificate. Anyway, so I started reaching out to gender and sexuality clinics near me that would provide testosterone, and ended up finding one. I'm in New Jersey. I ended up finding one called CHOP, that is Children's Hospital of Pennsylvania. If you're in the area, I highly recommend them. But anyway, so they interviewed me for a year and a half to make sure that testosterone would be a good fit for me before I started testosterone. They don't just hand that out. So as I was being interviewed over this year and a half point, they obviously realized that my chest dysphoria was very bad and persistent and wasn't going away. So it was deemed medically necessary by the woman that prescribed me testosterone to get top surgery. And then I had another doctor also deem it medically necessary. So that's not one, but 2 licensed professionals deeming it medically necessary. So then I asked her to send me a list of surgeons, and out of the 80 surgeons that she sent that were in my area, only 1 person would do a procedure on a minor. So it's really not as common as everyone thinks. I didn't just walk into a hospital can you take these off? You can't do that. So now the surgeon wanted to interview me, keep seeing me to make sure that this would be a good fit. 15. Are you kidding me? Here it is. So secondly, this youngster talks about how you can't just go yes, you can. I've interviewed a ton of, maybe in your area, and maybe in your children's hospital, okay, yes, you can. There are many hundreds of detransitioners who literally went to a doctor and had their boobs cut off as a minor without all the extensive. I mean, you are actually lucky that you found somebody giving you years of some kind of understanding of what your gender dysphoria. I still disagree. You're still only a youngster. I don't know, probably you're 18 now, so whatever, I don't care. But I would love to catch up with these people in 5
or so years and see how they are even managing. You're not giving this youngster any time to understand what gender dysphoria is, and could you actually live with your gender dysphoria? It's so crazy to me that you would just jump on medicalizing this young person because you had 2 years of psychological training, and now you think like this. He's also saying, and I'm going to respect his pronouns, also saying that he couldn't just get top surgery. That is a total lie. Okay, maybe for you, but there have been a ton of people who've been getting this surgery without having the extensive space of understanding. And I have to commend those 79 other surgeons who refused to give a minor top surgery. This is amazing and awesome news. That's the best thing I got out of this. I also want to remind you that just because this person didn't get their testosterone right away, many youngsters went to Planned Parenthood and had one session and got their testosterone. So this is just one person telling you one story that supposedly they went through a whole system. I don't trust these people anymore. I don't trust that they're telling the truth because they've been lying from the get-go. So maybe this person is going on just saying this because how do we know that that's factual? How do we actually know that? So I think Children's Hospital of, was it Pennsylvania, has also been shut down, their gender-affirming clinic. Thank God.
I'm trans, and if I wanted to go back into the closet and try to present myself as a cis woman for my safety, I would have a very hard time doing so. I have been off my testosterone for months at a time before, and not much changed about me at all. My facial hair growth did not slow down. My body hair growth did not change. The only thing that really changed was the size of my hips. That's it. My face didn't change that much. My voice didn't change. My bottom growth didn't change. Being able to present like as a cis woman for my safety is not a privilege that I have. And some people on the internet will look at me and be like, well, if you shaved your mustache and like pitch your voice up a little bit higher, I could see you as a cis woman. And it's like, maybe because you're on the internet a lot and you're in leftist spaces and you're around trans people a lot, your perception of gender is different than the majority of the people around where I live in Alaska. But that's not the reality for me. If I were to try to do that, I would very likely be assumed to be a trans woman more than I already am, which arguably would be even more unsafe for me. If you are a non-transitioning trans person, whether you identify as non-binary or a man or a woman or something else entirely, you're trans. Like if you say you're trans, then I believe you and you are trans. I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to try to deconstruct it. If you were able to go in your day-to-day life and not be questioned about whether you're trans or not as a trans person who hasn't transitioned, whether they're assuming that you're the gender that you are or not, if they're not clocking you as transgender, that is a privilege that you have. That is
okay, I'm stopping. This person is just blah, blah, blah. The danger. They love to talk about, I'm in danger when I walk through a space as a trans. I've been walking the world over 30 years as a trans person. I'm not in danger. Neither are you. You're making it up. You're literally making it up, okay? Number one, especially as a trans guy. I would say trans woman for sure can definitely be in spaces that are not cool. But as a trans dude, you are not in danger. That's a crock. Secondly, this idea of going back, I'm here for my safety. You people are such a bunch of pussies. I can't even believe the way you talk about your safety, and I feel so scared. What are you doing then? Why are you even transitioning? Thirdly, this idea, okay, that it's a privilege to pass is a bunch of shit. And I'm so sick of your bullshit rhetoric around transitioning and passing is a privilege. It's not a privilege. It's fucking work. That I show up every day to do the work so that I can walk the world as a man and look totally, it takes a lot of work to do this, that you guys clearly don't want to put into it, and you want everyone to give you whatever it's not how the world works. You don't just get everything you want. You have to participate in getting what you want. This is the complete entitlement of this trans space. That's not trans. It's not transsexual. It's trans-identifying people. They've created an ideological identity space for young women to not like themselves. That's what they did. They created a space for women not to like themselves so they can put on these costumes and feel like maybe they're going to be in this space for a while, and then what's going to happen is they're going to detransition. It's why they cross-dress. It's literally why they cross-dress, because they're not ready to let go of their female space. They're not ready to let it go. They still need it. That says to me, they are not transsexual people. They are identifying as something to be a part of, a club, a space. Okay, because if they are literally ready to let go in their gender dysphoria, they would never put women's clothes on. They would have nothing to do with femininity. And yes, you have to be, you don't have to be anything. You want to be masculine as a trans man, okay? You want to pass. I'm just gonna keep showing you, this place has become such hardcore mental illness, it's crazy to me. It's just crazy that everyone's playing into it, like these poor people.
Our next contestant is Warren. Okay, so there's no more balloons, so go ahead and go.
What? It says, when you're gay, but you're a trans man who doesn't bind and is feminine. What? What? Then you are not a trans... That person is trying to say they're like me. This is not a trans man. They're not even trying. They're like still female. They're just taking this label and co-opting it for some safety. They need safety. They need to feel safe from whatever they're dealing with mentally, and being a part of a group of young women who are now calling themselves trans men. That's a fact right there. Doesn't matter if you like it. Doesn't matter if you're gonna call me transphobic, and I don't know. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I can see it all. And you can too. And it's why I won't stop talking about this. And these young women need help. They need to understand it is not bad to be a woman. It is okay, okay? And when you grow older and maybe you have your gender dysphoria still, you have every right to, but you young people don't even understand what you're doing to yourselves. The fact that you're getting top surgery at 15 is appalling. And the medical world has lost its mind, okay? So you're not helping these young people. You are hurting them. That will live with them for the rest of their lives.